Today, I just finished up my gardening. It's tiller or tilling, and so now I need to go through this tiller. This is a Huskee, 5 horsepower, Briggs Stratton, and made in USA. I bought it at Tractor Supply quite a ways back. I think I bought it in 1989. Anyways, it's been a very good tiller. It's rear tine, what you call rear tine. You can see it's got the weight on the front, and the tines are back here. It's got this adjuster bar on the back, so you can for your depth. And one of the things I haven't done is take this side cover off and take a look at the belt. And I don't know if there's any gear lube or anything that needs to be done on it, but that's what I'm going to do today. So let's get started as I get this thing ready for storage for the summer. I just happened to notice that I've lost my valve stem cap, so I'm going to have to get one of those to replace that, because you definitely don't want dirt in there. And we're going to try to take these bolts apart. That little flat washer's got away from me. So if you have ever run a rototiller, the first one I had was a front tine, and that was when I was in Michigan, and the soil was kind of sandy loam. And the front tine, it bounces around quite a bit. But if the soil is softer, you can till with it. But it'll take for a ride. That's why I bought this, because I got tired of getting wore out. Yeah, let's see how we're going to get this off. Okay, so here's the belt. And the belt, it's shiny. It's worn. I'm going to take it off. I'll bring it over this. Looks like I'm going to have to loosen that up to get it off. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's shiny, and got a crack right there. This thing, the reason I'm checking it this year is the clay soil here is really hard on the belt, because when it locks up, so let's open this up. This side adjuster here, so you can keep the soil inside here and it beats it up a little bit more. You can't do that down here. You want it out of the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up so you can, I think you can see in there. Maybe. Maybe not. There. So let me get the camera down here a little bit more. So if you look down inside, it looks like a bunch of beaters in there, and you can see the dirt piled up that deep inside there. I got to get all that. I'll wash all that out of there. You don't want that dirt there. You don't want any vines in there, because it'll tear the seals up. So after every time I use it, I take and wash it down really good. Get all that dirt out of there. Let me turn that up. You can see it. That's all got to come out of there. Get that all clean, and then I wash the whole thing down. This time I'm going to have to wash the motor down while I got it apart. I want to clean all that up. I've kept this thing, like I said, since 1989, and if you maintain a piece of equipment like this, it'll last forever, because you don't use it every day. Maybe back up a little bit. But it's a good piece of equipment. I think something comparative to this right now is probably around $800, maybe more. I don't even know if Tractor Supply's got them. They probably do. But anyways, so I'm going to get a new belt for it. I'm going to get it cleaned up. I'll wash all that grease and stuff off the motor. It's not leaking. It doesn't look like it's leaking. It's just dirt. And with the covers on, it's a lot harder to clean. So I'm going to give it a good cleaning and get a new belt. And then we'll be back. If I see, I'm going to take a look down here before I go look for that new belt. I'm going to see if there are any oil fittings or gearbox stuff down here that needs to be taken care of. I didn't see any fittings or any place where I can put oil in it. No place where I can see where any oil has to go inside in the gearbox. So the bearings seem pretty good, even on the idler. So the way this works, let's just, well, before I leave this here to get the new belt. So you can see how much slack is in that? I'm going to come around. So when I pull up on the handle, that's it. So that's the handle's all the way up there. And the belt is tight, but you can see it only has to move just a little bit, and then the tension's gone. So that belt has pretty much run its life. So that's one of the reasons I got to replace it, because right now, if I hit something hard, it'll spin, and the tines back here will stop. So let's get it a belt. Okay, as you can see, this is not as bad, the worst one I've ever seen. I've had it where it's really been packed in there, but this kind of stuff right here, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. This is just roots. Well, that's a piece of, I don't know, a piece of cloth or something. I don't know what it was. But these roots get wrapped up and they get up around the seal. And you lose that seal and then you got a mess. So I cleaned that up inside there now. And I'll rinse it all off. And then I'll give a good wipe down on the outside. Let me get a rag and do that. And we'll go from there. Okay, I got all the vines and roots and sticks and whatever else was up underneath. That's all up away from all of the ceiling surfaces. I cleaned up the motor area so that if there is an oil leak, I'll be able to see it. And around the carburetor, cleaned all that up so it's nice and clean, so it's not going to get jammed up with anything. And the outside's all clean. So I'm going to go try to find a belt. I'll go to O'Reilly's down here and put a new belt on it, because what I'm doing now is preparing it for the next time I go to use it. I don't want to have to work on it when it comes to that time. It's a pre-planning. So let me take my belt, run to O'Reilly, come back, and then we'll assemble it. I am going to start it right now to dry the engine out. So let's do that before I take off. All right. I just want to make sure I dried out all the parts there, and it's got heat in it now. It'll dry the rest of the engine. So, and one other thing I do is I always put 2+4 or Seafoam or Stable in my gas. I use Seafoam all the time. Those other ones are brand names of different things. But anyways, I put stuff that I put it in my fuel every time I put fuel in. So I don't have to add it for storage because it's already there. And I have a lot of fuel in it right now. I think down about 1/8 of a tank. But at least I've got something in the fuel so that it doesn't go bad and ruin the carburetor. So, all right, I'll be back. All right, 2 trips to O'Reilly, and I got the right belt. So, there's a difference in belts, and I want to show you this here right now. You might not be able to see the difference, but this is 1/2 inch, and this is down to 7/16. This actually wore the sides of these right out. And see if you can see this, but this belt is riding way down into the pulley, and the new belt rides much higher. And these are power rated, so these have a fiber on them, cloth on them. They're not just not a regular V belt. So I had got a 50-inch one. I thought maybe a 50-inch one would work better. I couldn't even get it on here, so I got the 51-inch, and this is what I end up with, and it works very well. I can slip it on, and the tensioner works good. Pulls it up, pulls it tight, but like I said, it's riding much higher in the pulleys now, so it should stop the slipping. And I might be able to adjust up the cable a little bit. I don't know. Let's see where that goes. Yeah, I could take this pulley off right here, and I could pull the cable up a little bit more, but I don't know if it's necessary, because it's not going to change this. It's not going to change the engagement, because once I pull this lever up, the tensioner has got a lot of tension on it. So I don't think changing that's going to make anything other than the travel from here, this extra 2 inches. I could probably take that out, but I don't think that's necessary. So I'm going to leave it alone. The new belt's on there. everything's cleaned up and ready to go. I'll put the new, oh, I gotta put this stuff back on. Don't forget to put this on, because this is what helps keep the belt from jumping off. So let's get that back on there. There's a guard on the bottom and on the top that keeps the pulley on this front, on the motor pulley. You got to have that. So we were trying to figure out about when I bought this, and we're thinking it's been probably 1989, maybe 1990. But it's been a good rototiller. We bought it in Indiana, and that's the dirt in Indiana is some of the best. A lot better than here. This stuff here, hard clay. Tray. Now I've cleaned up the inside of this so that I come back and I can looking for oil leaks still, find them a lot easier. I won't tighten these until I get them all tight. Get all the nuts and bolts on, then I'll tighten everything down. You got these little washers got to go in. If you're going to buy a rototiller, I wouldn't buy a rear tine unless it's a really, really super good deal, because they beat you up. You're fighting them. You're going to wear your arms will be tired when you're done. This thing here, when the ground is nice ground, tillable, I can walk beside this thing with one hand on it and steer it. It'll pull itself through the dirt. And if it gets bogged down a little bit, just lift up the back end and it'll pull itself right out of it. Okay. I got the little plastic piece that goes on here. Maybe I'll put it back on. We got some of that red trim tape, that's used automotive trim tape. That holds really good. Just had a little double stick tape on it. We'll see. It's not going to affect the performance. So there it is. Ready to roll. I'll start it and give it a try it. I won't have my wet gloves on this time, so it jerks the cord out of my hands. Come on. That's much better. This thing, the engaging it, it's got a chain drive in the middle there. So if you want to engage the tines, sometimes you have to pull up on the handle and just move it forward a little bit, and then it goes right into starts the tines. But you got forward, reverse, and neutral, and then get the tines moving. That's how that goes. All done by this one lever over here. So, okay, that's it. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe and let other people know about it. And I really thank you for watching.